Hey YouTube, our builders have showed up and they've worked 3 days, and so far we've got some basement walls erected, we've got our floor joists on, and we've got our subfloor complete. So let's just take a walk around the build site and see what's all done. So the first thing that they had to do was they had to build this exterior wall, the walkout wall in the basement, and you can see that it is built and they have it sheeted, and it's looking good. You can see we're going to have a couple set of double doors, some French doors here in the middle, and we got 4 windows. Hoping to get a lot of natural light into the basement because this is the south facing side of the house, so hoping that the basement feels more like a normal part of the house instead of like a dungeon. So that looks good so far. So the second thing they had to do is they had to build this load-bearing wall in the basement. We have a floor plan down here, we have some bedrooms down here, a bathroom down here. So we were able to just use some of those walls as load-bearing walls instead of having to put a beam all the way across the basement. So this probably helped keep the price down overall. So I had to buy, remember I mentioned earlier, I had to buy some adjustable metal columns. We got one right here on that side of this beam, and then there's supposed to be one that goes here, but it's on order. And then that other one back there, it's going to go over here on the other side of the staircase. The staircase is going to come down in between those 2 columns there. And then they just built these load-bearing walls. We got a header across the opening, and this main room in the basement kind of flows through both sides. And after they got all this wall done, they were able to go ahead and start on the floor joists. So the floor joists, we're using 2x10s. This is only a 28-foot wide basement. Sorry about the echo in here, but it's only 28 feet wide, so it's not that great of a span. So we're able to do 2x10s. That kind of keeps the cost down. And then we've got some bridging or some cross bracing that we have in between on each side that you nail that down, and that'll keep that 2x10 from eventually warping from one side to the other. It'll keep it nice and plumb and nice and straight. And you can see after they got the floor joists on, they went ahead and they put all the subfloor on. And the chimney that we're putting in is kind of like a fireplace insert. So it's not a true masonry stone fireplace. So we went ahead and just framed in the fireplace. It'll be 2x4 walls or 2x6 walls around the fireplace. And then it'll get a stone veneer. So that's all framed in and got a subfloor on it as well. You can see that is the bump out where the dining room table is going to be. And it's just all covered in OSB. So it looks good. And you walk out here, and basically this is going to be the view from the kitchen sink right here. Just a few extra feet up just makes it a lot better view. It's amazing. I like it. Real happy with it. So yesterday was a really busy day. The guys were out here. It was their 3rd day working. I had somebody come out to do some dirt work and to help me trench in the water and electric lines and to do the backfill around the basement. We also had 2 more semi-trucks of material show up, so we have a lot of material laying out here. So far we've had 3 semi-loads of material, and then we have 1 more load with doors and windows coming later. But pretty much all the material is here except for doors and windows. So we started out the day, we started digging out this hill of dirt here so that we could have access back to the electric line, because they put that dirt right in the way. So we started moving that dirt and we started backfilling the basement. We had about a 2-foot wide area all the way around the basement that needed backfilled. And we took that dirt and we backfilled completely around the 3 sides of the basement. And then we started grading it back, basically where we kind of wanted it. And after we did that, we went ahead and trenched in our water line. Our water line is just right about there. And we trenched that in about 3.5 feet deep over and took that in through the basement wall. And then we trenched in our electric line, and we did it only about 2 feet deep, and brought it in over here, and then we've got that stubbed up. So we do have a sleeve in the basement wall that we brought our water line in through. So when we trenched that in, we brought that in through this wall right to here. And then the electric line, when we trenched it in, it's stubbed up outside. And then eventually we're gonna go ahead and bring that through one of these joists here into the mechanical room. So by 12:30 on the third day, we had our electric trenched in, we had it covered up. We had our water, it was trenched in and covered up. We had everything here backfilled, and all the dirt work, at least backfilled up to the porch. Under the porch part is all backfilled. And so all the dirt work that we needed to get done right now is complete. So all this dirt, there's still a ton of dirt just piled up. I'm gonna have another guy come back later with a bulldozer, and we're gonna level a bunch of this dirt out and regrade some of the area. But I think I'm gonna hold off until we finally get some of these material bundles gone, because we've just got a ton of stuff stacked here. So we'll probably hold off until the house is about framed up before we start moving the rest of this dirt around. Now we did run into a slight problem in the afternoon yesterday. They called me up. So we were done with our dirt work, so they started going around and they started making all the holes for the porch posts, and they were using an auger drilling these holes. Well, ended up when they were drilling one, they ended up hitting the electric conduit that I had just put in. So to explain why this ended up happening, we regraded this, so we've added dirt here, and that conduit's only a couple feet down from the top of the new dirt. Well, when they're digging these holes, they need to get down to old dirt, undisturbed dirt, so they need to get down into the old dirt. So when they got down in there, that conduit wasn't very far in the old dirt, and they hit it and they busted that conduit. Luckily they didn't cut the wire, you know, so the wire was still intact. So we had to hand dig this all the way back, you know, and pull that section of conduit out. We had to cut off the broken conduit. We had to end up slapping us in like a 2-foot, you know, piece of conduit in here. I don't know if this is going to show up on video, but so we got that all repaired and laid back down in there, and then we kind of hand backfilled. So now when they pour this post hole, and actually this post is the one that lines up in the center of our doorway, so the only thing this is holding up is the steps. It doesn't have any of the roof on this foundation, so it's not holding a lot of weight anyway, so that's a good thing. But we're just going to go ahead and we're just going to pour this footing, and we're going to pour it right around the conduit. So I don't think that's a big deal or anything. That should be fine. So when we're just going to pour it up to grade. So they were a little worried, I think, that they damaged it, but I had everything to fix it here, and we just kind of jumped in and dug it up and fixed it, and within an hour it was all back and covered up. So it wasn't a showstopper, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't a big deal. We were able to take care of it, no problem. So it was still a really good day. We got a lot done. So after 3 days of construction of the actual framing process, we have got a subfloor on. The floor joist, the subfloor, we have the walkout wall is completed, and it is got sheeting on it. We have got our electric trenched in, we've got our water trenched into the house, we've got our backfill complete. We've got all our material on site, except for doors and windows. And since our backfill is complete, we were able to go ahead and dig all the footers for the porch posts for the wraparound deck. So we had to dig they dug a total of 23 holes around the outside of the house for porch posts. There's 2 more posts that are going to end up sitting on the footer for the retaining walls. So it'll be a total of 25 posts when it's done. The septic guy has showed up. He's dug the septic out away from the basement. He's brought up a clean out, which we'll later cut off and shorten. And then he's brought that all the way out to there. and then later he'll come and tie into the sewer pipe and take it out to where he digs the septic tank. So it's been a very, very, very productive 3 days. So really happy with the progress. So stay tuned. There's a lot of stuff going to happen in the first 4 weeks of this build. So stay tuned for updates, and thanks for watching.